Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Black Diamond for Monday, March 20th, 2017. John Lavenio here with you as I am each week on the Black Diamond call. Boy, it's been a fun week or so since our Ascend event. I do see a lot more people joining us now. As you're coming on live, welcome to all of you. And, of course, if you're listening to this on the recording, on the podcast, we're glad that you participate one way or another. This is all part of what you get here inside your Digital Altitude experience. And I'll tell you what, I've got some ammo saved up since I have not been as active in the call series as I normally am with the traveling and being on stage and doing all the stuff we do at our live events. Of course, we do have another live event coming up here in a month. Yes, 1 month from today, I'll be on stage again, as will many people at our Marketing Mastery event. For Digital Altitude, our second ever Marketing Mastery event that we're having at the in Orlando, Florida. So be sure to participate with that. And I do have a couple of announcements related to that. So number one, all of those in attendance at the Ascend event last week received free Marketing Mastery event tickets to give to new team members, equivalent to the number of members that you brought in or that you bring in between Sunday the 12th through last night at midnight. Okay, so that promotion just ended last night. So to get your link to give your members your giving those tickets away to, please go to your back office and then click on My Business, Team, and Event tab. So My Business, Team, Event tab. And then the link to claim those free tickets is ready. So you'll find that in your back office under My Business, Team, Event. Second announcement is the event ticket is not inclusive of lodging, meaning you have to book your own room. Now, we do, however, have a greatly discounted rate of $189 available to all participants. You can book those rooms at mydaevents.com. That's mydaevents.com, or just contact events at digitalaltitude.co. Events at digitalaltitude.co, not .com. So, in fact, I will put these announcements in the chat roll as well, so you can view them at your leisure. And here they come. So, what is the Black Diamond about? If you're new here inside our Digital Altitude community, the Black Diamond call is a little bit different than the other calls in the way that this is a long format call, meaning we're going to talk for more than 15 minutes. We do also have a Q&A or audience participation segment at the end. So, if you're tuning in live, you're always welcome to participate in that. And I'd like to give this disclaimer because this sort of call is something that I've been hosting since 2002 in various forms. Obviously, it wasn't always here inside Digital Altitude because Digital Altitude did not exist in 2002. Digital Altitude is just 1 year in the marketplace. And so the way we host this call is you're going to hear my opinion on stuff, how I operate my businesses, I run my companies, and how I've chosen to take responsibility for my own success in life. Usually I have a guest speaker on here as well. I'm going to be my own guest speaker tonight, which I think some people tend to like when I just go on a rant, so we're going to go ahead and do that. But the rules are take what you like and leave the rest. See how these ideas are usable for you, how you can apply these into your own business and into your own life. Okay, my truth doesn't help you. Your truth is what you need to move forward. So see how these ideas are applicable. Take what you like and leave the rest. And of course, if I say anything that offends you, you'll get over it. That's just how we roll. I've got a very loose filter, and I just want to tell you how it is, and based on my experience, and not necessarily so politically correct or anything. I'd rather maybe have a bit of discomfort, but everybody gets results rather than everybody stay comfortable and stay broke. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you make a pile of money unapologetically, my friends, unapologetically. And that's where we're going tonight with our conversation here on the Black Diamond Call. So here's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about after Ash Ali's beautiful wake-up call that he hosted today, where he talked a bit about physiology. He talked about, getting up and, stretching out your arms and doing what you got to do to feel energetic, be energetic. Demonstrate energy, yes, demonstrate energy in the marketplace. He was talking about that, and I thought that was just so appropriate, just so beautiful, because I think sometimes, or quite often in fact, we have people who get started in business and they're rather reserved, and I hope I'm doing it right. I don't want to offend anybody. Oh my goodness, so concerned, so damn friggin' concerned. Now I want you to think about something here for a second. You came here because you were looking to make an increase in your immediate financial future. Nobody signed up in this or any business because you were already satisfied with your results and you've got so much money coming in. Hey, you don't want to rock the boat. Everything's going smooth. Everything's going smooth. So let's not rock the boat. Okay, now not rocking the boat is a very appropriate way to be and decision to make when you're in a state of consistent affluence. Things are working. My goodness, don't change anything. Keep it flowing, right? Still just keep that going, keep that momentum, stay the course, do more of what works, less of what doesn't, steady as she goes, all that stuff. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's not the condition anybody enters this business in. Nobody, exactly nobody who I've ever met said, you know what, I'm just rolling in cash in my living room and I'm bored. So you know what, I'm looking for a business where I could throw, I don't know, throw 50 grand at something just to try it out, just fun money, whatever. Like I've never met anybody who said that, ever. Exactly 0.00% of the people who I've ever sponsored or coached or counseled in my career have been coming at it from that position. So therefore, we've got to give ourselves a little bit of permission here. So yes, rock the boat, do something, make your mark, do something bold, get out of the comfort zone, and in many cases, rattle some cages and get some other people out of their comfort zones. Because look, my friends, you co-signing mediocrity and allowing people to continue to walk around in a zombified state, thinking that it's not so bad, my job's not so bad, well, don't you know there's limits to everything, and, what do you think, you're special, and who the hell is this guy, Lavinia, to be talking about making, tens of thousands of dollars per month online and quitting a job and all this, this must be a scam. This is something worth ridicule. Yes, we can ridicule this because now here's someone who is attempting to make me believe, how dare he, make me believe that there's a better way and that I have not been engaging it. This person is challenging my comfort zone, damn it. How dare he? All right, so here's where I'm going with this. There's a book, a great book, by the way, a really great book called Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. Some of you have mentioned or heard me mention this book before. It was out of print for a while. I see somebody republished it. You can also download free copies if you search for it on the web. Right? You're all in online marketing, so you can all figure out how to search for things on the web. The name of the book is Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. First four chapters. This woman wrote this book. First four chapters are all about how much people love victimhood. Beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, this woman is probably my favorite female author of all time. She just opens up, she comes out swinging and kicks your ass all around the block for 4 chapters, talking about how great failure is, why you love to fail, what are the rewards of failure, and why we co-sign it and we endorse it and we experience what's called tacit consent. That's an unspoken agreement. Tacit means unspoken, right? So a tacit consent. Hey man, I won't call you out on your mediocrity as long as you don't call me out on mine. We'll all be limited together, right? We'll all co-sign each other's excuses and be pathetic and we'll love it. These are the rewards of victimhood and failure. And yes, my friends, you can go out into society and you could see the zombified victims of life everywhere you go. And it's sad, and it's pathetic, and we love it. Now, that's a challenge. She just threw down the gauntlet. She's saying, oh yeah, great, you want to read a book on self-help and, success and all this? Well, I'm here to tell you that you are asleep and you love it. Because here's why, my friends, there's a lot of agreement There's a lot of agreement on this, right? I mean, we're social creatures. We like to be social. We're going to go to Thanksgiving dinner, and we're going to hang out at the restaurant, and we're going to talk with our friends, and maybe have a little social engagements and whatever. And all this stuff is all very nice as long as you don't rock the boat. As long as you don't come and say, well, why the hell haven't you made the big money? I mean, you've been talking about how much your job sucks for however many years. And you know what? We keep going back to this whole conversation, and people agree with you. You get a lot of agreement, right? And now here we are still talking about that. Why are we still talking about that? Why don't you do something about it? Nobody ever says that in their social circles. You ever notice that? You're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to rock the boat. You're not supposed to think or make others think. God forbid. What did George Bernard Shaw say? I was talking about this with two of our students just today. I was on a short conference call today, and George Bernard Shaw said, 2% of people think, 3% think they think, 95% would rather die than think. Think about that. That's an interesting quote, right? So this goes right in line with what Dorothea Brand was talking about. People don't want to be made to think. Now, make the distinction here. I'm not talking about making people wrong or assigning fault to people. But what I am talking about, starting with ourselves, is assigning responsibility to people. Yes, starting with ourselves. Now, if we leave the conversation, if we leave the herd, so to speak, and herd-like dialogue, and keep in mind the purpose of the herd is to keep you in the herd, right? Don't challenge the herd. And some of these members of the herd are the elder cows of the herd, right? They are the learned, right? And how dare you challenge them, okay? Whether we're talking about authority figures, academia, parents, clergy, whatever. Okay, don't you dare challenge that. Okay, how dare you be the authority or leave the herd, right? These are our traditions here we're talking about. You're not to challenge that. Okay, but if you do challenge that, you risk leaving the herd, and you risk doing it audaciously and overtly in a way that gets noticed. Now, keep this in mind. People sometimes stay in jobs for a long, long time, not because they like the job or not because they like what they're getting paid at their job, but because there's a lot of a social aspect. There's agreement there, right? I mean, after all, other people are doing it, and it's not too bad for them, so why is it too bad for me? But what am I special? Again, the herd keeps you in the herd. Like the old story of the crabs in a bucket. For anyone who's ever gone to catch crabs, which you typically do with a either a drop line or, see, I grew up on the Jersey Shore, so I know all about catching crabs. You take a chicken bone or something, and you stick it on a hook, and you put it down there, and then the crabs start to latch on and chew on it, you see, and you slowly pull the line back up to the boat or up to the dock, wherever you are, and you got a net, you see, and then as the crab gets closer to the surface, he doesn't know what's about to happen, but you grab that net, you scoop underneath the crab, and you got him. You got him, right? And you can also use little cages that fold up, and you can capture these crabs, and they're good eating. People like crab cakes and whatever. But the crabs, you see, they grab onto the thing. You pull them up, you get them out of the water with a net, and then you throw them into a bucket. And the crabs have a tendency to climb, right? They've got claws and stuff, and they can climb out of a bushel or whatever. If you got like a 5-gallon pail, they probably can't climb out of that because the sides are too slick. But if you had like a wicker basket or something, I suppose, if you were back in the old days, the crabs would climb right out until you got more than one crab in there, and now you don't even need a lid on it because they're going to be clutching onto each other, pulling themselves back down into the bucket. One can get out, two can't get out. See that? So this is the crab effect or the herd effect. And we've got to go into a state of disagreement with this if we intend to make progress. So what Dorothea Brand was talking about was why we worship our comfort zones. We worship our own victimhood because there's a lot of agreement in there. There's a lot of tacit consent, right? I won't hold you to account for your mediocrity as long as you don't hold me to account for mine. Now, what if society was totally different? What if society was more of a everyone is like a hard-charging, Top Gun, total overachiever, so to speak. What if that was the case? Do you think we'd have different conversations? We would. But look, if success was easy, it would be mediocrity, right? Success is not for the many. Success is for the few. Does that sound fair? I'll tell you what, it's very, very fair. Yes, equal opportunity, not equal results. No, 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 no. No, that's socialism. That's communism. That's not what we're, I mean, nobody here is engaged in that, right? You're in free enterprise, or the remnants of free enterprise. That's the only reason we even have an opportunity to do something above and beyond, you know, here's your standard issue, here's your rations for the day, and work until you drop, right? You get the same rations as everybody else, no matter how much work you do or how disabled they are. No, 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 this is free enterprise. That's what this is. That's what we all signed up for. And thank goodness that there's a degree of that available, right, in our modern world. And that's something to be celebrated, okay? But that means that non-equal results, yes, vast disparities in results. You know, there are people that make more money in a month than I've ever made in a year. Yes, there are multi-billionaires on the planet. And you know what I think about that? I think that's beautiful. I think I need to learn some more stuff. You see, I'm not done. I have not arrived, okay? And what if they had gone into agreement with the idea that, well, you know, making about $1 million a year is about all you ever need, right? So you see, there's even mediocrity at higher levels. There's different plateaus of mediocrity. And we get to a point where you've outgrown one plateau or one level of experience or accomplishment, right? And that led you here. That led you here. Yes, dissatisfaction led you here. Like I said before, you weren't rolling in cash thinking I'm bored and I just need to go get a hobby. No, you're here because you are very nicely dissatisfied with circumstances as they are or were. See, that's great. That's great. Now we're going to reach higher than the mediocrity that we experienced at whatever level, And with digital aptitude, we've got the beautiful advantage of having many different levels that people can participate in, depending on what they're looking to accomplish, right? We just got back from this Ascend event last week, and there are people who weren't there. Okay, well, they're not as serious about, you know, going as fast and, you know, getting the results as other people who weren't there. Okay, understood. Understood. There's no have-tos here. Nobody's saying you have to excel. You have to leave the cow pasture or leave the herd there's no have-tos. Have-to is your job. That's the whole reason you're here. It's because you're tired of have-tos. Want-tos. Demand-tos. Now we're talking. So what are the demands that you can make upon yourself to get out of the crab bucket or to leave the herd? This is the big question. That's right. That's the big question. So now, assuming that we are willing to have a better result, here comes the major barrier to the commitment that you can make to actually fulfilling that intention. Okay, so we've got an intention now. We're saying, yes, we're looking to get a much better result. We're looking to be entrepreneurs. We're looking to make more money in a month than we previously made in a year, which is not only possible, but plausible and likely if you but learn marketing and do the work, which, by the way, is everything that our program is about, right? I mean, if you want relevance, you are in the right place, my friends. I mean, this is about as relevant as it gets. Learning how to do online marketing and learning how to be a person who can do such marketing is a very profound thing to learn. Statistically speaking, sales and marketing is the highest paid profession in the world, and there are some specialty, you know, circumstances like, you know, hey, I'm the world's greatest brain surgeon or something, and I make millions of dollars. Okay, that's cool. Is that you? Well, probably not, or you wouldn't be here. Or, you know, I look good in a bikini, and I got, you know, big record deal, and I'm like a pop star for the next year and a half until I kill myself with drugs and 15 divorces and everything else, and, you know, guess what? I make millions. Okay, is that you? Probably not, or you're not here, right? By the way, I would not trade places. Be careful if you're comparing your insides to other people's outsides. Be very careful with that. I do not want that life. People, they go and they read, you know, People magazine or other celebrity gossip rags. Oh, these people are so awesome. They're so special. No, they're not. I do not want their life. and you don't either probably, but the point is that we are looking to a more predictable and resourceful way of getting to not just a flash in the pan, instant success and celebrityism or whatever, but actually a sustainable, higher level of lifestyle and existence and quality for ourselves, for our families, and everything we're looking to do. And guess what? Sales and marketing, you are on the right path. So if you had any question about being on the right path, let me go ahead and solve that for you. Yes, sales and marketing, highest paid profession statistically in the world. Nothing happens till somebody buys something, no matter what the product is, no matter what the service, the offer, the opportunity is. Somebody needs to cause a transaction to occur. That person is you, and you will get the lion's share of the money. In the case of what we're doing here, just with the digital aptitude offer, 60% payout, very nice, thank you very much. You don't have to handle anything except the marketing. That's it. That's your only post. All the other problems are handled for you. Congratulations, you are in the right place. Now, what happens? What stops us from committing to fulfilling the intention that got here in the first place? Okay, we decided, John, we are going to leave the tribe, leave the herd, and we are going to wake up and live, as Dorothea Brand talked about in her classic book of the same title. And we are no longer going to be in a state of tacit agreement with victimhood for ourselves or for anyone else. Yes, we're going to go into the marketplace and we're going to make an offer. And this offer is that, yes, we can show you how to have a better experience in terms of how you support yourself, your family, how you live your life. You like to travel. You like to go on business trips to Maui. How about the Dominican Republic? How about Europe? How about wherever else we're going for these upcoming events? How about Disney World? You want to take your family to Disney World on a business trip? Sounds good to me, right? Does it sound good to you? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to offer an opportunity. What stops us from committing to boldly going forth where no one has gone before, seek out new life and new civilizations, and doing it with vim and vigor and with abandon? Here's what stops us. Here's what stops people from committing to that vision that they've kindled in their own life. Now that they've got the idea that the cow pasture sucks, here's what stops them. Fear of criticism. Same thing we've just been talking about. It's the agreement or non-agreement with other people who are still in the herd, chewing their cud on the pasture, waiting for the slaughter. But what will they think? Oh, should I rock the boat? Oh my goodness, but what will they think? This is the mantra of the herd, my friends. The herd is very, very concerned about what the others might think. And yes, there's going to be critics, no matter what you do. If you're a performer, there's going to be a critic. In fact, right in your own brain, you've got both of them. You've got the performer and you've got the critic. The performer says, let's go, let's do it. Hey, how about this idea? What about that? We could take this action. Look at that action. Look at that action. Here's some decisions we can make. We can perform, damn it. We can cause some sort of an effect to happen. Yes, we can be the cause. We can be responsible for the effects that we are experiencing in our life, and we are the performer. And then you've also got the critic. No, I mean, well, come on. I mean, look, you've tried other stuff before. Don't you remember the other time you failed? And look, you heard about that other person. They took a swing and they missed and they had egg on their face. Look at all the criticism that they received. Oh, and look, social media, I mean, there's a million vultures, man. If I stick my head out there, one of those vultures is going to take a big crap on it. And, oh, I'm scared, right? So the critic does the critic's work for them, right? Yes, there are people who are critical of anything. There's always going to be people who are critical of any performance, no matter what you do. That's unavoidable, okay? Unless you do. In fact, I'm going to pull up a quote here for you. Let me grab this quote. I want to give it to you exactly the way the guy said it. Hold on a second here. This is very rich. This is very, very rich. Let me find this here. This is a quote from the 1800s. Here we go. Got it. Okay. So this was by Albert Green Hubbard, lived from 1856 to 1915. He said, "To avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing." He also said, "Do not take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive." So I want you to think about this. To avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. If you fear criticism so much that that you are not committing to your own success, it's because you're not reaching. You're not. How can I best say it? Well, I think Hubbard said it the best: to avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. That's the only way to really avoid criticism. Even at the job, you're going to get criticism. Even while trying not to rock the boat, you're going to get criticism. If you're performing any performance to any degree whatsoever, you're going to get criticism. So therefore, what is this whole not rocking the boat thing? What is this whole non-committal thing? What is this, trying not to make waves? That does not get the job done. And you're still going to get criticized anyway. It's like, I think I've mentioned this before, it's like that old movie, History of the World Part 1 by Mel Brooks. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, any of you? But in this movie, it started with the cavemen, right? And there was the first artist, and he painted a picture of a wildebeest or gazelle or something on the wall of the cave, and he was very proud of his painting. He was putting his heart into it. Oh, here's my great work of art. And then the narrator says, and with the birth of the artist came the inevitable afterbirth of the critic. And here comes this other caveman, and he urinates on the painting of the beast. That's it. That fast. As soon as there's a performer, there's a critic. So which one are you? And which one are you going to feed? Which one are you going to validate? Which one is going to expand? Because you can be your own critic, and you don't even need people to criticize you because you already shut yourself down. You didn't commit. You weren't audacious. You weren't overt in your reaching into the public. And yes, making some waves. Because look, the same circumstances that led you to becoming an entrepreneur and to signing up and to doing something different than what you were presently doing prior to this, those same circumstances exist for other people, as do the same fears that other people have. You see, one of the strengths of our marketing community is that it's a community. It's not just you. It's not just Michael Force. It's not just John Lavinia. It's not just Jason Stone. It's not just Jesse Singh. Fill in the name. It's not just Kiara. It's not just Alex and Anna Zubarev. It is a community of people. Yes, there are strengths in numbers. And quite often, the courage to lead the herd requires that you enter a different herd, a smaller herd, not a herd of cows, okay, a group of rhinos. If we're going to use the cows and rhinos metaphor, as my friend Scott Alexander wrote in his book back in 1980, Rhinoceros Success, he equated people and personality types to cows and rhinos. Okay, and of course the rhino is who the book was for. The book was for the rhinos, not for the cows. They're not interested in reading the book. They're interested in chewing their cud and waiting for the slaughter on the pasture, you see. But the rhino's got to charge through the jungle. And so, you enter a group of rhinos, because that's what you really are. By the way, we're all natural-born rhinos. That's sort of the punchline, although many of us have been conditioned and trained and beaten down and cowed down. Cowed, that's actually a word. You were cowed into being a cow. And so we've got to rehabilitate some of that rhino spirit. Okay, and it's very helpful to move into that group of people. Now, you're not going to get the respect of both groups. You'll either get the respect of the cows and the rhinos. So you see, you've got to choose. You've got to commit. You've got to be willing to lead the herd. And you've got to be willing to field, to whatever degree you need to field, the criticisms of others, the skepticisms, the cynicisms, and the negativity of others, and literally shut your mind off to it because you know you're on the right path. Now again, this challenges the unspoken agreements of society. Victims love victimhood. They love it. Dorothea Brand wrote 4 whole chapters about how pathetic you are and why you love it. Thank you again, Dorothea. Boy, if I could have met her in person. That's one seminar I would have paid a lot to go and be there in person. again, we're talking about a book that was written almost 100 years ago. But this is the essence of how society runs. It's not a new phenomenon. It's not like this just happened in the 21st century. And it's not like it just happened back in the early 1900s. Okay, this has been happening for a long time. We can go back to Eastern and Western scripture and thousands of years ago. Conformity, my friends. Conformity. There it is, right there. There's the problem. Who was it? I think it was Rollo May who said, "The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice; it is conformity." This is the enemy right here. This is the thing. So if we are going to make our mark, and hopefully that's what you're here to do, we're going to have to commit. This is not an effortless victory. Okay, this is going to require some work. It's going to require that you reach and that you do things that you haven't done before. If you want a different result, you got to do something different. And that different thing is going to be something you're going to have to learn to do consistently. Consistently. You'll notice that every top earner in this or any business has developed habits that are resourceful habits. Right? The great speech by, and I'm quoting all different people here tonight, but the great speech by Albert E.N. Gray back in the 1950s that he gave to his Prudential Insurance people there of the common denominator of success. He said that the common denominator of success for all people who have succeeded here or anywhere else is that successful people have developed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. We've developed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. Not because we like doing them, we just do them anyway because we've got a reason to do them and to get uncomfortable and to do it, to have an effect, right? That's why we're here. We're here to have an effect, yes, to be effective. And those effects, if we want those pleasing effects, they come from pleasing causes, and those causes have to do with our decisions, who we're being and how we show up in the marketplace and those habits of effectiveness that we have chosen for ourselves in a very self-determined way. Irregardless of the criticisms that may or may not come our way, we don't give a damn. Damn the torpedoes. We are here to succeed. I will not be denied. I will not be denied. And that is the attitude that is required. Now, does that sound bold? Yes, it does. And you know why? Because it is bold, and that's what most people are not, is bold. And they'll sit around and they'll agree with each other about how everything's not so bad or, you know, whatever. And again, I won't hold you to account for your mediocrity as long as you don't hold me to account for it. And they'll tiptoe through life, hoping to make it safely to death, and we all get to go on the slow boat to nowhere and fail in slow motion. And that's life for a lot of people. And then on their deathbed, all the things I didn't do, right? Lamenting how they didn't reach. They didn't do. Now, if you're intelligent enough to be in this conversation, listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth right now, I will assure you that you are qualified to do something more than the average cow on the cow pasture. Stupid people don't listen to the Black Diamond Call or sign up in top-tier direct sales. Okay? This is not for dummies. You are qualified. Yes, you. Listening to my voice right now. You are qualified. Thank you for being here. Right? There are other people who right now, in fact most people, they're not on this call. They're not listening to this conversation. They're not on this podcast. They're reading People magazine and other depressing ideas. I say they're depressing because they're ideas of how others are special and you're not. Think about this. Think about like what I just mentioned, like celebrity gossip. Right? Oh, did you hear that so-and-so divorced so-and-so and the scandal and the unknown pregnancy of the baby? Oh, who's the father? I mean, this is the crap that people consume. And wonder why society is in such disarray. People can't figure out up from down, right from wrong. Right? This is the conversation that most people are in. We're watching so-called reality TV shows. And I mean, most people would rather watch someone else's life on TV than participate in their own. But that's not you. That's not you. So what can we do? What can we do to shed this fear of criticism, this all petrifying, debilitating, crippling fear? Well, I can tell you what the mother of invention is, and that is necessity, right? When you really need to get the job done, you know you're going to get the job done. I don't have to convince you to get the job done. I mean, the old example of, the burning building and your child's inside. Are you going to go get the child out? Of course you are. You're going to sit there and Q&A with, should I, shouldn't I? And, well, let me think about it. No, come on, please. You're going to do something bold. And onlookers might say, oh, you shouldn't go into that building and get that child. Did you even hear the criticism? Did you hear it? I didn't. Somebody, I'm sure, had something critical to say. Screw them. That's the resolve that we have. And you see what just happened there? We made a decision. Decision. In Napoleon Hill's classic book, Think and Grow Rich, he wrote a whole chapter on the topic. The title of the chapter was Decision. And he said that when studying all these great people of the industrial age, that he noticed that every one of them had developed a habit of reaching decisions promptly, did you hear me? Reaching decisions promptly and of changing their minds slowly, if ever. Unsuccessful people, without exception, took a long time to make a decision, if they ever make one, and they change their minds rapidly and often. We can call that a state of indecision. Indecision. So what is the antidote to all this fear? The antidote is decision. That's what it is right there. Later in the book, he talked about the 6 ghosts of fear. It's the epilogue. It's the last chapter. If you haven't read this book, read the damn book. Read it 15 times. Okay? If you only read one book this year, let it be that. So in this book, 6 ghosts of fear. Fear of death, fear of ill health, fear of poverty, right? All these fears, these ghosts, these misuses of our own energy. And he talked about how, listen to this, he talked about procrastination, the opposite of decision, is an enemy that virtually every person must conquer. You see, it is this procrastination that causes our self-doubt. And that doubt crystallizes into fear. Now, this is the way he explained it. Try this on for yourself. See if this shakes out for you. I like this. This is some good philosophy right here. So if fear is the crystallization of doubt, and doubt is the result of procrastination, and the opposite of procrastination is decision, well, then what's the real enemy? Indecision. Indecision. This is what traps people. This is what causes people to doubt and fear things like, oh, I might get criticized by somebody else. I shouldn't commit. I shouldn't decide. You see, commitment and decision go hand in hand here, don't they? Right? You're running into that burning building. You've made a decision. You've committed yourself. You see, we're talking about the same thing. And what caused us to do that? Necessity. Necessity, damn it. How bad do you want it? This is not a casual victory. Remember, you're not the person with the mountain of cash in your living room rolling around taking a money bath. Oh my goodness, money bath. Same movie. Mel Brooks, History of the World Part 1. For some reason, I got that movie on the brain. I'm going to have to go watch it. It's been some years since I've seen it. But later in that movie, Dom DeLuise portrays Caesar, and they bring out a tub and they shower him with money. He gets a money bath. Some of you younger people may not know who Mel Brooks or Dom DeLuise is, but anyway, they were funny guys back in when was this movie? The 70s or 80s. But yeah, money bath. So you're not taking a money bath right now. How bad do you want a money bath? That's the question, really. Do you want it enough to get uncomfortable, to do things that most people are not willing to do? Most people don't have money baths. And obviously I'm speaking metaphorically now. You don't literally have to have a money bath, although I suppose you could. Maybe at the Apex event we could stage a money bath or something. I don't know. Maybe that's therapeutic. I don't know. I've never taken a money bath either. But you get the point. You get the metaphor. Okay. So that's not your circumstance currently. Would you like to have an opportunity to do that? I suppose you could literally do that. I know people who, in some companies, they get paper checks for their commissions, and they get them daily. Right? I've seen companies that actually mail checks daily, sometimes multiple checks per day, even like small commission amounts. Like, oh, you made $1.32 on that sale. Here's a check for that. And you made $15 on that one. You made $400 on that one. And I see in the chat room, Thomas is saying, I'll take a money bath. Okay, great. So yeah, people actually keep all the check stubs, and they wind up showering themselves with them, or plastering their whole wall with check stubs. Because I guess that's a demonstration, right? That's valid, right? They're validating and reminding themselves of all this money they've made. So okay, fine, if you want to do that. But the point is, how bad do you want that, or the opportunity to have that, or whatever the reality of that is, right? I mean, money is just ink on paper, whatever. But is it the lifestyle? Is it taking your kids to Disney World? Is it, I don't know, Lamborghinis? Is it the retirement account? Is it the proper schooling for your kids so they don't have to suffer through government school for 12 years like I did and be indoctrinated into conformity and slavery, and then have to go ahead and rehabilitate themselves out of it by spending $300,000 on education after school to figure out what life is about? That's what I did. So, and I'm still not done. But the point is, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? Bad enough to weather some of these criticisms and these disapprovals by the critics, who never accomplished anything, by the way. I remember the movie Ratatouille. I'm into movies tonight. Look at this. Anyone seen the children's movie or family show Ratatouille? It's a cartoon. I don't know if it was DreamWorks or Pixar, one of these high-end movie companies. Ratatouille. It was about a rat who wanted to be a chef and became a chef. And yeah, great movie. And at one point there was a critic, right? The food critic. This took place in Paris, and the critic, his name was Anton Ego or something, and he was this tall guy with this big nose, and at the end of the movie he realized that my criticisms of the chefs of our city here in Paris probably don't amount to the worst of the chefs, and their work is still better and still more valuable than my criticisms of them. And I thought that was a very nice way to sort of put a cherry on top. Like this critic actually realized that, my goodness, my work is worthless. What do I get to do? I get to show up and criticize everybody else's art? Who the hell am I, right? And anyway, he turned into a happy guy and got into a different line of work. And so he wasn't really a critic at heart, but he had some issues. And that's it. The critics have issues. Don't make them your issues, right? You don't have to own that stuff. You don't have to let people rent space in your head. You're going to have critics. Bravo. And if you don't, it's because, like Albert Hubbard said, you're doing nothing. You're being nothing. Just think about that. If you're being anything, you're going to have some sort of an effect, right? Even if it's being a miserable bump on the log that never accomplishes anything, well, great. The effect that you had is that you got to demonstrate low-level accomplishments, non-accomplishments, mediocrity to anybody who cares to look. And those people could even be your family, your children, people you're looking to influence. So you're having an effect. One way or another, you're having an effect. Is it a profound one? Is it one that's worthy of you showing up? Because you did show up. As long as you're breathing my air, you owe me some results, damn it. Oh, that sounds so narcissistic, but you get the point. You get the point. You showed up. Now let's do something with it. You deserve it if you say you do. And if you're willing to get out of your own way and let the critics go criticize whatever they're going to go criticize. You know what? I heard somebody, one of our new members here, just got started at the Ascend level. And they said, they were talking to a prospect, and the prospect said, I saw some negativity on the web. It's like, heavens forbid, they saw negativity. And I said, here, show them this. And I gave them the link to the playlist, the YouTube playlist from the Ascend event. In fact, I'll post that in the chat roll right now. So the YouTube playlist from the Ascend event. And what you're going to see is people have blast. Oh my goodness, the value. There's one guy on there saying, look, all I've been to so far was the welcome dinner, right, the night before. So we actually had 4 days worth of events instead of 3, which is what everybody bought. So Michael, again, over-delivered. So here's day 1. We got this luau thing with the buffet and the dancing hulas and all this. And then I got to talk with other top earners and pick their brains. And I mean, he said, I already got my money's worth. We're not even through day one yet. I've already got my money's worth. So, yeah, go show that to the critics. Okay, and I'm sure there'll be something else they can criticize. You know, this Lavenia guy, how could they have John Lavenia on stage? Don't you know that his hair isn't right? And look at that tie. Oh, my goodness, he's wearing a tie. It's Hawaii. Who's wearing a tie? By the way, I was the only guy in the state of Hawaii wearing a tie. But I figured I'm on stage, I might as well, dress nice, whatever. And day 3, I didn't wear the tie, but the first 2 days I did. And I'm sure, there's something else wrong. I mean, he's got this New Jersey accent. I mean, he sounds like, whatever. I'm sure we can come up with some really terrible stuff to say about this guy who's, pouring his heart out here to hopefully empower and augment the confidence and the certainty and the ability of these people who just chose to participate at this very auspicious event, but I'm sure we can find something to criticize about it. Oh my goodness, my breakfast burrito was cold. Actually, no, it wasn't, but it could have been warmer. Oh, and the coffee was too hot. We had the coffee. I burned my tongue in the coffee. My goodness, Michael, couldn't you get them to? You get where I'm going with this. There's always going to be a performer, and there's always going to be a critic. Make sure that you are the performer, and make sure that you are not doing the critics' work for them by not even reaching because you're afraid of what they'll think. But what will they think? I'll end it with this. Our good friend Bob Proctor, one of my mentors when I was first getting started, he said it best. He said, don't worry about what your neighbors think. They probably don't. And there you go. And with that, we're going to go ahead and open this thing here that we're doing for some Q&A, for some participation, whatever you guys want to do. Stand by. Here we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. The lines are open. If you'd like to speak, you can hit the raise your hand by clicking *6 if you're on a phone, or by clicking, I think, your mute button if you're using the app or whatever the command is there. Antoinette, I see your comments. I love you too, Antoinette. Always great to see you at our events and hear you on our calls. The lines are open if anybody would like to come out here and talk about this whole idea of non-commitment and fear of criticism, and of course the opposite of that, which is resolve, damn it, decision, right? That's what we're talking about here, getting the job done. Damn the torpedoes. So if you'd like to come out, you are certainly welcome to do that. I'm looking at our chat roll here. I do see I do see a few of our attendees here. Thomas, thank you. Eduardo, Shamika, Jalen, awesome stuff, you guys. Rosemary, thank you. Antoinette. Okay, great. So I do see a couple of callers. We're going to go to our first caller in our queue, which I don't know your name, but I soon will. And that caller is from the 574 area code. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Nick.
Hey, Nick, where are you from?
South Bend, Indiana.
All right, Nick in Indiana. You're live on the air.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's my first Black Diamond live call. Just got registered Sunday night and just trying to plow through everything. So it's been really fun.
Awesome. Welcome to the team, Nick.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a quick comment. It's funny that you were talking about this tonight. I had an assignment in college one time that we had to write a paper, and my topic was literally nonconformity. Because I even in college, I always saw myself as a little bit of a black sheep, always trying to find, even though I was in school, I was always trying to find, other ways to make money. I'd sit at my laptop at night and figure out, can I code? Can I create a website? What can I do? I wanted to pay my way through school by doing something different. And after 5 years of school and thousands of dollars of debt later, I'm still working on that, but I realized that I like learning in these types of atmospheres rather than that, like you said, that government way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to be a part of this and just learning everything. And I got my call with my coach tomorrow morning. So.
Oh, fantastic! Very good, very good. Well, Nick, we are so glad you're here. Welcome to the team, sir. This is it's a very powerful thing that you've just embarked on. So welcome once again. Glad you're here. I will look forward to seeing you in Orlando, I hope.
I hope so too. I'm going to work on that as well.
Oh yeah, get there, man. And everybody, you can go to http:// I'm typing this into the chat roll right now, digitalaltitude.co/MME, and you can go ahead and get your ticket to Orlando. And you just got RISE, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
You just got your RISE program, Nick?
I'm guessing. I don't know. I signed up really late, like 2 o'clock in the morning on Saturday.
Oh, you're brand new. Okay, yeah, go through the steps with your coaches, and they'll explain to you what that's all about. And then yeah, you can even get a free ticket to Orlando event. So yeah, check it out. Your coach will tell you more about that.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Thank you for being here, man. Welcome to the team. We're going to go to our next caller, which is Roberta Preston. Hey, Roberta, how are you? You're live on the air. Roberta, are you there? I think Roberta just muted her line. Roberta, are you there?
Am I here?
Yes, you are here. Hi, Roberta.
Hi.
All right, you are live on the air.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm just typing. I didn't want to actually verbalize my question on the air. I was just chatting. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just still having issues with the major expense in it. I really like the concept. I really like the idea. I think the whole program is wonderful, but it's a major expense. I mean, to do it right. Not that I'm saying that I would fail at it, because that wouldn't be the way I would go. I would go that I'm going to win.
You're going to succeed at it.
But it's just a lot of money.
If you say so. You know what, Roberta, I remember looking at top tier direct sales for the first time back in 2002. Can I tell you a little story?
Oh, please.
Okay. So here I was in 2002. I had put over $100,000 into a franchise that didn't work out. After a couple of years, I wound up closing that down. I had also done a little bit of work in the music business, but that was more of a hobby. That never made us big money. Well, Roberta, I'm actually going to mute your line because I'm hearing an echo, and I want to be able to have a good, clear. Hold on just a second. Right, I think we got that handled. Yep, sounds good.
Is that better?
Yeah, that sounds better. So here I was after years of attempting other businesses. Like I mentioned, I did a franchise that cost me 6 figures and 80 hours a week. I did multi-level marketing for some years, and this was a difficult thing for me. My heart wasn't in it. I certainly saw the results of people who were making like multiple six-figure incomes, right? $20,000 a month. Some of these people were even higher than that. And I said, wow, this is great. Here I am working all these hours, and I'm not making anywhere near this amount of money. And for years I wanted to, and no matter what business model I was in, it didn't work out. And I put a lot of money into business. And now I found this thing called top tier direct sales. And actually, we didn't even call it that back then. This is more of the early days of our industry. And I met this guy who placed an ad, and he was making about $50,000 a month. And he showed me the business model. And Roberta, I don't know what step you're on now. If you're working with coaches, are you pretty new here, or what step are you on?
No, I'm actually on the business model, and that's and I've already devoted to it. It's just I don't have it, and that's why it's bothering me.
Okay, well let me explain what happened here. The whole idea of not having it or not being able to, or any sort of a lack or limiting thought, what we validate expands. So if we focus on, wow, this is a big expense, or any of the things you were just talking about, not having it, things like this, these are all affirmations of what? Of circumstances as they are, which is what brought you here in the first place, right? These are things that are results, effects, if you will, based on decisions you've made in the past. But they do not determine the future unless we just keep going down that same road and keep rehashing the same stuff. And so
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Right, exactly. So that's why you're here. So I met this guy, and he was making way more money than me, or that was even more than my goal. He was making like twice as much money as I even had as a goal. And he said, this is how we do this. Okay, you want to keep messing around with all these other nickel and dime plans or franchises that are not nickel and dime. Can you hear me okay, Roberta? We're having mega noise here.
I hear you. I'm hoping you're not having an echo.
Okay, very good. So so he said you can either keep playing around with this other stuff, or you can walk this path with us, right? This is the path of the rhinos, and you want big results. You got to play a bigger game. You're just not going to be able to stay in your comfort zone and get the results that you want. Now, in my case, I was looking to make at least $20,000 a month, and that was my goal for years, and I had missed it for years. And like most people, I was tiptoeing through life, hoping to make it safely to death. It was ridiculous. And so when I saw enough proof and enough examples of other people who had walked the path before me and said, hey, man, the water's fine. You can jump in or not. I mean, do whatever you want. We don't give a damn. Do whatever you want. Hopefully for your sake, you jump in. At that point, I jumped in. And then I made millions. And it was all because I had that resolve. And I had, fortunately, found people with enough knowingness and integrity to teach me the way. Now, once I knew the way, I'd never work a job again. And Roberta, I never looked at a few $1,000 or a few tens of thousands of dollars as a big deal. Right now, my best month in this industry is $200,000 in a month.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, better than working a job 80 hours a week and not making. Right. So.
Yeah.
Right. Now, was that an effortless victory? No. Was I scared? Absolutely. Was it a stretch? It was nauseating. It was nauseating. That's how much emotion I had over all this. I wouldn't be able to be here and have this conversation with you and with everyone listening right now had I not decided who I was. And who I was no longer that guy who was going to tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death. And I hope the same for you. Now, am I attached to what you do, Roberta? I don't know you. I'd like to know you. Come meet us at our next event. Yes, please. I can't do for you.
I signed up, John.
What's that?
I actually signed up, but ends up I'm having surgery and I won't be able to make it. So I don't know, but I did sign up and pay for my ticket even. So, but I mean that's the whole. I want to go. I want to progress. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let me acknowledge that you're here on this call right now. Most people on planet Earth, your fellow Earthlings, are not. So already you've set yourself above, and not just because I'm the host, but because you're doing something resourceful. Okay. So acknowledgement to you. And here's the thing. Yes, we've got circumstances. What did William James say about circumstances? Your circumstances may be uncongenial, but they will not long remain so if you but perceive an ideal and are willing to strive for it, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm paraphrasing. Usually quotes are verbatim right out of my brain. Tonight I'm having a little bit of a rough time with it. But that's the thing. It's like none of us came here because we had congenial circumstances. Right? So how bad do you want it? And I'll tell you what, Roberta, the past does not equal the future. So I'm gonna urge you, and anyone who's dealing with what ifs, right, or doubts, to get into, you got to get your brain into some good books, and you got to make that an urgent thing. Like that's urgent and important. Like that is a top priority, because what you put in is what's going to come out. And your outer dialogue reveals your inner dialogue, Roberta. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just offering you some coaching if you're open to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you reveal with your outer dialogue, the words that come from your mouth, reveals the inner dialogue. And you and I are kind of like in different realms of conversation, in terms of like what we're expecting and what we're saying. And so I'm going to offer you that. I would grab, I would grab that book by Dorothea Brand, Wake Up and Live, and I would grab Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, and any other thing that instructs and inspires you. Listen to, here's what you do. Everybody can do this tonight. Go to YouTube and search for The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And then just put that on a repetitive replay loop over and over and over again. That was a recording from, I think, late 1960s. And he talked about the strangest secret. And this was actually, Earl Nightingale was one of Bob Proctor's mentors. Earl Nightingale was the guy who popularized, him and his partner Lloyd Conant, popularized the audio self-help cassettes and records. They started the company Nightingale Conant. And that is one of the most quintessential recordings of all history and personal development. It's called The Strangest Secret. And I think you'll get a lot of mileage out of that. Have you ever heard that before, Roberta?
No.
Oh.
But I mean, I've been reading. I've read 6 books in the past 4 days.
Well,
I mean, audiobook, and I did check into some of the lending programs. I mean, I'm on the right path. I just need an extra push, I guess.
Okay. Well, your extra push is listen to The Strangest Secret, or go buy a copy. It's on cassette tape, or I don't know, Audible or whatever, or go find it, somebody reciting it. Or you actually want to listen to the Earl Nightingale version. Don't listen to a third-party version. Earl Nightingale, the way he delivered it was absolutely perfect, and his voice was just so awesome. I'm into, oration. I really like the great orators. But the thing about that is this was the recording that Bob Proctor, one of my first mentors, would ride around with a portable record player in his car and listen to The Strangest Secret over and over and over and over again. And
Wow.
It worked, apparently. So there's that. I would suggest that. And anything you can do to offset the self-doubts and fears, limiting beliefs, and all this with quality thinking from the masters, the people who have accomplished great things. This is all I've done. I've just done it for 30 years. So that would be my suggestion. I'm still doing it, Roberta. Please don't interpret this as like.
Well, I appreciate your help, John, and I really do. And everybody involved. It's really a nice program.
Oh, it's a beautiful program, Roberta. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to engage this. You're going to start getting results. We're going to be having a whole different conversation. 90 days, 6 months from now. This is a life changer. Some people say a game changer, a cliche, whatever. This is a life changer, and I can attest to that from direct experience, not theory. Direct experience. Haven't worked a job since 2002. Have had ups and downs too. But my friends, look, my worst day as an entrepreneur is still better than my best day working a job.
I hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Roberta, thank you for being here, my friend. I hope everything works out with your operation.
Well, thank you, John, and appreciate you for listening to me. Yes, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up Q&A. Thank you, my friends, for participating, for being here with us tonight. This has been a great event, I think, as I think every call is. And we're going to go ahead and meet tomorrow on the wake-up call. And we're going to hear from our friend, Mr. Straight. Joel Straight's going to be with us tomorrow morning. In the meantime, remember the other announcements that we've started with, and get your tickets to Orlando, get your rooms booked. And if you'd like to bring the family, I know some people are doing a whole family trip, and we're going to do Disney World and all this. Other people are going to be in and out, so whatever suits you, right? If it's just strictly a business trip, fine. And if it's a family trip, great. If it's a spring break thing, do whatever you want. And it's an opportunity that's been made available to you. Above all, get all the training you can. Okay, and this is the fastest route that I have seen to accelerating your own progress. Is actually immersing yourself in the environment of success, where that's actually happening live in person. So thank you, guys, and really appreciate the acknowledgement. I'm looking at the chat roll right now. Thank you all for your feedback. I'll look forward to seeing you all next week on the Black Diamond call as well. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.